Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to people that are currently in the chat. We got James, we got Lorenzo, we got Juan, we got Lathan, we got Puff Daddy. Whoa, Puff Daddy in the chat. Let's go. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Do me a massive favor, smack the like button here on your way in. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 19K. Once we hit there, we will be giving away an Arizona Cardinals Nike Rivalry mini helmet. So make sure you go and subscribe it up. And yeah, smack the like button. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got some things to talk about. Probably not some Arizona Cardinal news. We are actually obviously going to talk some Arizona Cardinal news a little later on. But man, breaking news just dropped about 20 minutes ago. Adam Schefter just reported that the Buffalo Bills are now getting their wide receiver number one for Josh Allen. Amazing. Great. Every time we see something like this, it almost kind of takes me back to like, damn, like, look at these teams that are making moves to get better, right? Look at all these teams that are making moves to get better. You got the Rams yesterday with McDuffie. Now you got the Buffalo Bills with the, moving off of DJ Moore, now making him over to the wide receiver number one for Josh Allen. And then you see the Arizona Cardinals, right? Taking forever to release Kyler Murray, or at least the thought or the communication about releasing him. And now, like, that's all we're fed. Unfortunately, I'm hoping something changes, and I hope some big news happens next week, because I think Arizona Cardinal fans can very well need it, and we can use it as well, because man, there's just been a lot of bad. I guess the way it depends on how you look at it, right? If you've been wanting Kyler gone for the longest time, then obviously congrats. If you are sad in some sort of way that Kyler's gone, then I get it as well. But man, we just have not got any like great news to like build this team up for the better, right? Let's just put it that way. But massive news. I don't think the compensation has come out as of yet. Let me just double check real quick. I think last time I saw that Adam Schefter said that the move was happening. It's just I don't think the actual compensation was delivered quite yet. So I'm very curious to figure out what the compensation is going to look like for DJ Moore now going on over to the Buffalo Bills. And like I mentioned a little earlier, yesterday the LA Rams just got better, right? The LA Rams just get better, getting Trent McDuffie, former Kansas City Chiefs, now a number one cornerback, and he's 25 years old still, right? Number one cornerback for the LA Rams. So the NFC West just keeps getting harder. The Arizona Cardinals, unfortunately, just kind of sitting on their hands, not really doing very much, but delivering us news, but not the best of news when it comes down to making the roster better, but just kind of addressing a big hole that now we got to figure out what we're doing here in the start of the 2026 season. So shout out here to DJ Moore. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills. Well-deserved. Very, very good wide receiver over there. Let's go and dive right into it. Let's talk about what we're all here to talk about, right? If you have not read the title of the video or see the thumbnail, yes, there's a lot of reports out there and a lot of rumors about Jacoby Brissett potentially no longer being an Arizona Cardinal either. Now, let's take this with just a conversational pieces right now. Right now, of course, this is a rumor out there. Whether you believe it, whether you don't believe it, there is some people that are on the inside that believe that this is what it could take. Now, shout out here to Jonathan Jones of CBS. This tweet that you're seeing right here is from Harrison Glazer, but he's quoting Jonathan Jones from CBS, and he's gotten some things right as well. But this is the quote unquote what to expect for the Arizona Cardinals fandom if we do release a said Jacoby Brissett. Says this: the Cardinals could be willing to part with Jacoby Brissett if the team can get a decent day 3 pick in return. Well, what's a day 3 pick? 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, right? What's a decent 4th, 5th round, right? I wouldn't expect the Cardinals to release him, or I'm sorry, to trade him away for a 7th or a 6th or a 7th pick. If we can get some sort of capital back for Jacoby Brissett, and right now the Jets are the team to kind of keep your eye on, because the Jets, they're scrambling right now, man. The Jets right now they are scrambling as to they're trying everything in their power to potentially get themselves their QB1, or at least heading into the season, right? their fourth round pick that they own, right? And I'm talking about the Jets. The Jets own two fourth round picks. They got the 103, which it's literally the pick before our fourth round pick. We have the 104th, they have the 103. So they have the 103 and they have the 139th, which is a compensatory pick. So those are the picks for the fourth round, and then their fifth round pick is 179. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are willing to let go Jacoby Brissett, putting up the numbers that he did for the 179th overall pick. Nah, at least I hope the Arizona Cardinals don't do that, because that just doesn't seem like a smart move by the Cardinals. Now, yes, who's in the office right now? Monty Ossenfort, right? So we don't exactly know what the negotiation skills of Monty Ossenfort's going to be. But if you do get rid of Jacoby Brissett, putting up the numbers that he did last year, it would be very, very confusing from a stance of where I stand as an Arizona Cardinal fan, because truth be told, he was the best quarterback on the roster. Let's be real. Well, he was the best quarterback to run the system. Let me clarify, because I know there's going to be maybe some Kyler Murray stands coming at me for saying what I said. Let me clarify. He was the best quarterback to run the system that we had in 2025 for the Cardinals, right? The Drew Petzing led system. He was the best quarterback to lead that, right? So he put up some really good numbers out there. He had a very good connection, and it didn't take a full year, right? It only took about 3 or maybe 2 or 3 games to get connections with Trey McBride. Only like 3 or 4 connections to get a connection down with Michael Wilson. It wasn't one of those things where it took years or a year and a half or over a year to get the connection down. No, Jacoby Brissett came in and he already came down with the chemistry with the guys, right? So this is really head scratching to me, that why our former QB1 and Marvin Harrison Jr. couldn't get on the same page. Now, yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. did have some fault. There was balls thrown right to him, right in his hands, and he dropped it, right? So it's not all Kyler Murray's fault, but it's always going to be a very big question mark to me. Why in the living heck did that chemistry not solidify when Kyler Murray was so gung-ho about the idea that, yes, we're back, right? The moment we ended up drafting Marvin Harrison Jr., he was so excited about the pick, as were a lot of Cardinal fans. I don't understand the chemistry. It's super weird to me. The only thing I can go ahead and say is that the pocket collapsed a lot, and maybe Kyler panicked, and it made him to kind of move out of his design timing. And I believe Marvin Harrison Jr. is more of a timing wide receiver. He's not a backyard football wide receiver. And I think it maybe fit a little bit better for all the weapons that we had. Like the only, I guess, off timing receiver I probably would say would probably be Trey, right? Because Michael Wilson struggled with with Kyler for consistency. Marvin struggled with Kyler for consistency, and the only one that was really connected with Kyler was Trey. So maybe it was that aspect of it all, with the whole not being able to kind of know what Kyler was doing in the backfield for the most part. Kyler was an improviser, let's be real. But when things broke down, it just it almost looked clunky. Now, when Jacoby Brissett was standing in the pocket, yes, he was kind of like a quote unquote sitting duck, but he was all about timing, right? He was all about timing, and that's the reason why he flourished very well in the system. And he was throwing the ball down the field, and he made this offense look really, really good. So now we're hearing rumors, right? Obviously, shout out here to Jonathan Jones of CBS. And I do see a super chat as well. I'm going to get to that super chat right now, I promise you. Shout out here to Dr. Gold. I'm going to get to you right now in that super chat. Appreciate you for being here. But yes, now rumors are coming out saying that the Cardinals can release, I keep saying release, I'm sorry. They could potentially trade Jacoby Brissett for a decent, that's the quote, decent day 3 pick. Well, right now, the Jets and the Atlanta Falcons are the only teams right now that I've heard that are in on a Jacoby Brissett. Like, those are the 2 teams that I've been kind of hearing that they are interested in a Jacoby Brissett. If we take a look at the Falcons draft picks for 2026, let me see what they have real quick. 1 second. The Atlanta Falcons hold the 114th overall, which is a 4th rounder, and they don't have a 5th round pick. So if Atlanta was in business, and if the Atlanta wanted to do something, they would probably have to give us the 114th overall. But if the Jets were offering the 103, which is the pick literally right before our 4th round pick, that might be what is enticing for the Cardinals. Because truth be told, at that pick right there, you're probably getting quarterbacks in the likes of maybe a Drew Aller, right? Maybe in the likes of a Garrett Nussmeier, a Carson Beck, right? Those type of guys. Or hell, even if you really like Taylor Green, you could probably use a pick right there for one of those quarterbacks, especially if the Ty Simpson situation doesn't work out, right? Because of course, I've been going back and forth as to like which directions the Cardinals can go in quarterback, and we got a plethora of options, man. Plethora of options. What would be my ideal scenario? My ideal scenario. Well, right now, sitting on March the 5th, I would roll with Jacoby Brissett. Truly, I would roll with Jacoby Brissett until the wheels fall off, and hopefully the Arizona Cardinals have drafted a quarterback to throw in the mix to say, okay, you develop for about a month and a half. Now it's your time to see what you can provide to us, right? Now, whether that's Ty, whether that's going to be Aller, whether that's going to be any other quarterback, that's my dream scenario where it's honestly, it's going to help actually save money because if you go after Malik Willis, which is still on the table, I'm not going to come out here and say it's not on the table. I think it's on the table with the connection of the LaFleur brothers, but it's just a little odd to me that you're going off of a QB, paying him a lot of money to now paying another quarterback a lot of money. Now, yes, contracts could be structured a certain way where it doesn't really affect, and you can have a 3-year deal and have that third year have yourself an out, right? But you got to be creative. You got to be creative as a general manager to make a contract to say, okay, this is what we're going to offer. You come to the Cardinals and you will be the starting quarterback. Because that would be the only way, obviously, if Malik Willis is going to be the starting quarterback for the Cardinals, is if he's the promise that you're going to be QB1. And of course, if you're paying him that much, he's going to be QB1. Let's be real, right? So now Jacoby Brissett's name being thrown into the mix with potentially the Jets, which right now I'm looking at both draft compensations for both teams. The Jets are going to offer the best draft compensation. Like, let's be real here. They're going to offer the best draft compensation. Like, they got the 103, they got the 139, they got the 179th pick. Atlanta owns the 114th and the 179th. That's it. They got a 4th and a 6th. They don't have all the draft compensation that the Jets have. So it most likely seems like if the Arizona Cardinals were to trade Jacoby Brissett, which I'm not on board with myself, but I get the business side of it all, right? I get the business side of it all. But this is a scenario where it could potentially happen if the Cardinals were in on a quote unquote Jimmy G. We've heard a lot of rumors out there that Jimmy G is Mike LaFleur's guy. So let's see how it all shakes out. But yes, that is the latest rumor right now about Jacoby Brissett potentially landing himself in another team in 2026. Like I said, I don't want to get off. I don't want to get rid of him. I don't. I would rather roll with him and have him do what he did with Drake May. He was the quarterback one for the Patriots before Drake May took over. I would rather have that same scenario here where he's the quarterback until a rookie quarterback takes over. That would be my dream scenario. And it's the most cost-effective scenario. You're already paying him. And it's a very cheap deal. I think it's like $7-9 million for the year. It's real affordable. So to me, it's best going that way, but it's going to be the Cardinals' decision here at the end of the day. Let me get over here to my first super chat of the day. We got Dr. Gold Dog. What's up, man? Appreciate the super chat. He says this: I think the best option is to get Jimmy Garoppolo and draft a promising second-round quarterback to learn from a vet. Well, if you have real strong belief that there is a lot of weight to these rumors about Jacoby Brissett, then looking at both teams that can very well want his services, right? Looking at both teams that can very well want his services. Right now, the Jets are the ones that are going to be providing the most compensation. Look at all this draft capital the Jets have. Look at all this draft capital the Jets have. Now, compare it to the Atlanta Falcons. Ain't no way. Ain't no way if there was a team we're choosing, it's going to be the Atlanta Falcons over the Jets. Ain't no way. It's most likely going to be the Jets. Now, are they willing to part with this 103? I don't know. But the Cardinals do own the 104th. So we would literally have back-to-back picks in the 4th round, if that's the decision the Arizona Cardinals decided to do. I think we're sitting at 104 when it comes down to our 4th round pick. So it would literally be back-to-back. So we got my guy, Dr. Gold Dog. He's in on the idea of potentially trading away Jacoby Brissett. That's fair. Honestly, all options are on the table. To me, I'm not one of those guys that, what's the word? Falling in love with the idea that, hey, he has to be the guy. No, I just look at it as the most cost-effective way, right? It's the most cost-effective way. Now, if they do go after Jimmy Garoppolo, do I see them drafting a quarterback? I do. And I would hope that would give them a little bit more ammunition to trade back into the first round, because I know I know there's a lot of people that kind of came at me when I did my first mock draft. Everybody was like, if you use a second round pick on Ty Simpson, that is terrible. Why would you do that? And of course, I commented back because I love to hear people's opinions on the matter. But if the Arizona Cardinals right now are having one player or one quarterback to use a second round pick on or a first round pick to trade back in, it would be Ty Simpson. It would be. Now, if you want to wait to the third round, fourth round, I believe your Allers, your Nussmeyer, your Carson Becks, your Taylon Green, all those guys need to sit for probably a year. All of them do. All of them do. Now, Ty Simpson needs to sit as well. I don't think he's going to be ready from the jump, but he's more realistic to come out here and show promise by maybe the end of October, midway through October, right? But the idea of trading up to get a Ty Simpson, I've been talking about it since before people were doing mock drafts in January, that, hey, if he falls to the second round, I think the Arizona Cardinals should get Ty Simpson. Now, of course, he had a really good combine. With the real good combine comes maybe the Arizona Cardinals will not even have the option to wait there, right? So this is going to be very fascinating to see exactly how this all shakes out. But we got my guy Dr. Golddog is on board with the potential Jimmy Garoppolo. Honestly, I don't hate the idea. It is what it is. It's just, to me, it's going to depend on what the compensation you get back, right? Because he already has the connection. He already has the connection with Trey. He already has the connection with Michael Wilson. If you want to throw Marvin in there as well, I guess you could throw in there as well. But he already has the connection with these guys, right? Now, whoa. Here's other breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, which is not breaking news to the point where we're like, oh my God, this is crazy. But check this out. Jordan Schultz reported 17 minutes ago. Saying this, source, team in the trade market have gotten the sense that the Raiders are more open to the idea of trading Maxx Crosby and its situation that it's only going to intensify. Whoa. Maxx Crosby potentially can get dealt either sometime today, over the weekend. Wow. Now, like I said before, not a shock. We've already kind of known that the state right now of where the Raiders are, it would be smart for you to try to get as much as you potentially can for a Maxx Crosby. Let's call it like it is, right? Let's call it like it is. But man, one thing I would say right now is I would hate, and I mean hate with a capital H, if Maxx Crosby landed himself in Seattle. I would hate that. That would be absolutely a gut punch to every team in the NFC West. Maxx Crosby landing in Seattle would make me throw up inside my mouth. Yikes. Is it realistic? Probably. Can the Chicago Bears, did the Chicago Bears just trade away DJ Moore to open up some more cap space to get Crosby? Maybe. Because the rumors right now of where Crosby could potentially land in, I see Seattle as a dark horse, right? I see Seattle more as a dark horse more than anything. But the Bears are a realistic landing spot for Crosby. They're going to have to give up a lot. That's true. But that's a realistic spot. Keep him out of the NFC West. Put him in the NFC, or sorry, it's the AFC West, right? No, I'm sorry. NFC North. I apologize. Put him in the NFC North. I don't want to deal with it. But that's a realistic landing spot. I've heard some people out there saying the Eagles could potentially be in play for Maxx Crosby as well. But yes, that's interesting. Man, only if we as Cardinal fans had the luxury, right? Only if us as Cardinal fans had the luxury of potentially saying and making videos like, do you think we can land Maxx Crosby? No, we can't. We can't land Maxx Crosby. We can't land anybody. Right now, Monty Ossenfort, he's got a lot to prove. Monty Ossenfort has a lot to prove to this fan base. Right now, he's not really doing very much. Am I expecting the Cardinals to cut ties with some players? I do. I expect the Arizona Cardinals to cut ties with players to open up some more cap space, because this year's free agency pool, it's pretty solid. Like, you can get 3 or 4 key pieces off this free agency class, and you can fill up a lot of holes. Now, of course, I don't think he's going to be able to knock every single hole that we have on this roster down. I don't think that's realistic, but he has a lot of work. He has a lot of work to do. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, going back to what we were talking about originally for the new people that are just joining in, actually, because if you guys can do me a huge favor, we have over 100 of you guys right now watching on the YouTube side. Do me a massive favor. Smack the like button if you guys can do me that massive favor. Right now, we're sitting with over 100 of you guys and 18 likes. That's crazy. Come on. Smack the like button. It helps out the video get pushed out to other Cardinals fans, and we're trying to get to 19K as well. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe up. And we're on the road to 19K. We're less than 200 subscribers away from getting that. So appreciate you guys for being here. Um, uh, we got Meg in the chat saying Connor. Yes. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. And I don't know why these little comments are so tiny. I apologize. Let's get this bigger. There it is. Yes, we're going to be talking about some teams that are potentially going to get the axe. Sorry, I said teams. Good God. Some players from the Cardinals that can potentially get the axe. We're going to talk about that a little later on as well, because I can definitely very well see the Cardinals cut ties with about 3 or 4 people on this roster. Now, whether that comes out today, tomorrow, it's just a waiting game at this very moment, right? But I definitely very well expect the Arizona Cardinals to A, try to negotiate some contracts we currently have, or B, decide just to cut ties. Right now, there's not been any reporting that the Cardinals have done that as of yet, but this is massive news, man. This is massive news. DJ Moore going on over to the Buffalo Bills. I'm happy for DJ Moore. I'm happy for Josh Allen. I'm happy for Waltham. I think they're going to be a real good tandem. Not just that, we also did mention the fact that the Arizona Cardinals could potentially lose their current QB1 right now, and that's Jacoby Brissett, because there's a lot of rumors right now that, quote unquote, per Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports, the Cardinals are willing to part ways with Jacoby Brissett for a decent day 3 pick in return. What's decent pick? Well, I mean, we're going to leave that to the imagination, right? A decent day 3 pick to me is a 4th rounder or 5th rounder. Anything else is not decent to me. So let's see how the negotiation skills of Monty Ossenfort, hopefully year 4, can get the best out of Monty Ossenfort. Because so far, he's not shown to me that he's got the ability to trade. I could be wrong. And I know I'm pretty hard on a lot of guys, but we'll see. Captured by an Angel. We got another super chat coming our way. Quick shout out here to Dr. Gold Dog with the first super chat. Now we got Captured by an Angel coming up here clutch with another $5 donation. Thank you so very much. Captured by an Angel says this: what's the ideal situation for the roster for the quarterback and the other positions we need to fill? Great question. That's a fantastic question. The ideal situation, let me give you 2 scenarios. Because do I believe that the Cardinals can trade Jacoby? I do. I think that there is some real rumors out there that if the Jets are desperate enough and they're looking for a bridge quarterback to kind of help do what, Jacoby did in the Patriot land, or what any other veterans done for rookie quarterbacks. Let me give you 2 realistic scenarios or ideal scenarios, right? A, you get rid of Jacoby by trade. You get a 4th rounder or 5th rounder. Ideally, a 4th rounder would be the decent pick that I would hope the Cardinals would get, right? Now, we talked about this before. The Jets own the 103 and the 139 in the 4th round. Is 139 realistic? Potentially. But 103, you could potentially land yourself a quarterback, especially if the Ty Simpson gets sniped before we can even breathe, right? In terms of trading back up. So trading Jacoby for a 4th, preferably 4th, but also a 5th, because that's what a decent day 3 pick is. And then you go after Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, keep in mind, Jimmy Garoppolo is a stopgap guy. He's going to be what Jacoby Brissett was for us, right? Do both of them move the needle? I mean, they're kind of one of the same. Why I favor Jacoby over Jimmy is because Jacoby already has the connections with the guys, and he's already coming into the contract that he has, which is very, very affordable. So there's that option. You move off Jacoby, you get Jimmy, you draft a young kid to see if things go haywire, right? Then you can bring in the rookie, whether that's Ty, whether that's Aller, whether that's Nussmeier, whether that's Beck, or any other guy the Cardinals decide to use a pick on, right? So that's option number 1 for the quarterback. Option number 2, you keep Jacoby Brissett, Don't humor Jimmy G. Let him go somewhere else and just draft a quarterback. Now, if you keep Jimmy or you go Jacoby, you still can trade up to get Ty Simpson if that's what you really want. Early reports came out and said that the Cardinals were, quote unquote, taking a liking to Ty Simpson. I mean, the combine just emphasized it so much better, right? So much better. So I don't know exactly how the Cardinals really feel about him right now, sitting on March the 5th. I mean, he's the second best quarterback in the draft. Now, other positions, right? I'm just going to highly kind of go through it because I did make a video about it that I released yesterday. So if you guys want an actual breakdown of other guys, I highly recommend you go to my YouTube channel because on the videos tab, it does actually show all the free agents that I want to pick up, right? So right tackle, get yourself a stopgap guy. One guy that you can potentially say is Braden Smith, right? Former Colt. I know he's up there in age. He's already in 30s, but he's a stopgap guy, right? You can go that direction. Running back, it seems like what you guys were saying earlier, which I thought I was right, but I'm actually probably wrong. Jeremiah Love might go 4. I didn't think that, but now I'm starting to kind of hear the rumors that you guys were hearing earlier than me. Jeremiah Love might go 4. So the Cardinals need to make a decision there, but you can still get a running back in the draft somewhere, right? 3rd round, 4th round, somebody who falls to you. And of course, again, I made some videos about that as well. So I don't want to go too deep into what it is. I have a couple different scenarios already loaded up on the channel as well. So I'll give you the high level, right? The very, very high level of where I would do the quarterback position. But if you're expecting me for me to say trade for Joe Burrow, no, I would love that. Obviously, I would love that. But now I think Joe Burrow's staying in Cincinnati. I think the rumors out there were pretty legit at the time when he looked really upset and real sad. But I think right now he's pretty much staying pat where he's at right now. But those are the options right now for the Cardinals. I know it doesn't feel very good, especially when you're coming off a name like Kyler. But those are the options right now the Arizona Cardinals have. Whether you like it or you don't, that's the situation we're in. Let's take a couple more comments here in the chat. We got STB says, if we sign Jimmy G, you're going to the games for the food at this point. Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing, right? I favor Jacoby a little over Jimmy G because of the connection with the guys already, right? And the current contract that he's in. If you're signing Jimmy G, it's because of the hope and prayer that he has more of a better grasp of the system that Mike LaFleur is trying to run. That's the only thing why you bring Jimmy G, right? And then, of course, the girls will go crazy, right? Yeah, I'm already seeing girls getting crazy with Jimmy G. Well, stop it, right? This is football. But Jimmy G, he knows the system, right? He knows the Michael LaFleur system. So that is beneficial for Jimmy Garoppolo to come here. But either or, if it's Jimmy or if it's Jacoby, the plan for me is still getting a rookie quarterback this year and seeing what that kid can do. Because let's say we find ourselves in a situation where we do go with Ty Simpson, right? What if Ty Simpson blossoms into become that guy that, man, this is the guy, right? Now, if we don't, then we have our answer. Now, if you use a first round pick, 2027 might be a little bit murky, right? Because I don't see the Cardinals go back-to-back quarterbacks, especially if you're giving up draft capital to go back, unless it's really, really bad. Unless it's really, really bad from Ty Simpson. But if you're showing promise that he can be a guy that can run the system, the Cardinals might have found their guy, at least for the couple years. Now, some people might not like that, and I get it, right? It's just scenarios of what we're talking about right now in March the 5th. But things can change, man. Things can change. We got another super chat coming our way, this time from Mandon. What's up, man? I appreciate the super chat. Hey, thanks guys for being here. Next week's going to get crazy. I'm so excited about it.
Another one.
All right, Mandon in the chat. Appreciate you. Mandon says this: getting rid of Jacoby is the dumbest thing we can do. He's not just a starter backup. Wait, he's not just a starter quality backup. He's also a good mentor for the young QBs. Boom. Can everybody like that comment? Yes. Everybody like that Mandon super chat, please. You have the ability now to apparently like that, but that's 100% correct. 100% correct. He knows it, man. He knows the guys already. He's got the connection. He got the connection down with the guys that we currently have right now. And it didn't take Jacoby Brissett a month or 2 months to get the system down. No, this man was flinging the rock. The moment he stepped in for Kyler Murray, he was flinging the rock. We were close to beating the Green Bay Packers. We were close to beating the Colts. We beat the Dallas Cowboys, right? Of course, the season kind of unraveled. Defense was very spotty. The run game was non-existent. And yes, he was throwing about 39, 45, times a game. And that's because of the how everything transpired. But I agree, man. I 100% agree. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals should get rid of Jacoby Brissett. I really don't. But the circumstance is if they really believe that this is their guy, and I'm talking about their guy being Jimmy G, it's a stopgap guy with the idea that you're probably going to draft a quarterback, right? That's the only thing. But if you get the 139th overall pick for Jimmy G, the 139th overall pick would be just crazy. It would be just outlandish. What I would want is that 103. I would want that 103 because that 103 pick could be the difference between you getting yourself Aller, Nussmeier, Beck, right? Some guys that have intrigue. Now, of course, if my first plan is to potentially trade up to get Ty. That's my first plan. But if that doesn't work and somebody else actually trades up for him in the teens or in the early 20s, then, of course, you have to kind of step back and say, oh, man, okay, well, now we got to renegotiate. But that 103 gives us a little bit more luxury. But I agree. I 100% agree. He brings more to the table than just another backup quarterback. I think you said that perfectly, Mandan. Perfectly. He's not just a starter quality backup. He's also a good mentor for young QBs. Guess what? He was a really good mentor for Drake May. Look at Drake May now. Now, Drake May has not looked really, really good in the playoffs. I'll give you that. He didn't look good in the Super Bowl. I'll give you that, right? But Drake May was mentored by some sort of the facet of the imagination by Jacoby. So that's what I would like as well. You bring in Jacoby, you draft Ty, you let Ty sit for a little bit until the wheels fall off, or maybe the defense just gets better and more consistent. Maybe the run game is actually there. So that's what I would do realistically. That's my ideal, but of course, it's not my decision at the end of the day. It's going to be Monty Ossenfort's. We got another super chat coming our way, this time from WJ Burger.
Another one.
Appreciate you, WJ. He says this: Buffalo gets more and a 5th round. Bears get a 2nd. Thank you for the update. I have been looking for this compensation because I did not quite see it, yes, but you just provided it to me, and I absolutely thank you for that. Let me just go and make sure I refresh my Twitterverse and see what it is. Yep, Tom Pelissero. Here it goes. Tom Pelissero reports the Bills are sending a 2026 2nd-round pick to the Bears for DJ Moore and a 2026 5th-round pick per sources. Wow. So they're giving up a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick per sources. A pick swap that gives Chicago an extra draft ammo and Buffalo a new top receiver. So the Bills are sending a 2nd-round pick to the Bears for DJ Moore and a 5th. So, being the fact that the Bills are picking where they're picking in the 1st round, the Bills are sitting at the 27th overall pick. Sorry, I apologize, 26th overall pick. So the Bills right now are sitting with the 26th overall pick. Guess what, guys? I found the team that we can trade back with. Trade back up with. I just found the team we can trade back up with. The Bills. They just got themselves a wide receiver. Okay, so check this out. So they gave up the 60th overall because their 2nd round, it sounds like, oh my God, the 2nd round is so high, right? But their 2nd round pick is the 60th pick, right? So, I mean, it's still a good pick. It's still in the top 100. So I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not. But it's the 60th overall. And they also said, what, a 5th? Their 5th was 167th overall. So, I mean, this is not a team that really like lands a lot of draft picks. Like, let's be real here, right? So they gave up the 60th overall, and they gave up the 167th overall. That's not bad. We just found a team we can trade back up with, ladies and gentlemen, to the 26th overall spot if Ty Simpson's there, of course, and a contingent of Ty's still there. I just found the team we can trade back up with. I said to myself it would be Houston, but we probably don't even have to wait to 28. And guess what? With the rumors out there about the Rams now trading for McDuffie and using that 29th overall pick, we don't even have to worry about the Rams sniping away Ty Simpson from the Cardinals. If you want that direction. If you don't, I get it. Now, Pittsburgh can still be in play for Ty. The Jets can still be in play for Ty at 16, or they can trade back up with all the draft ammunition they currently have. Or they just wait until next year, right? Or he just falls. Or he just falls to us. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Appreciate you, WJ, with the update. Let me see if there's any other updates going on right now. But yes, the NFL, there's a reason why the NFL is king. There's a reason why the NFL is king, man. Woof. All right, you got another super chat coming our way, this time from Meg.
Another one.
Thank you so very much, Meg. Appreciate the super chat. Knowing that Kyler is costing us a lot in dead money, can we afford to get someone like Rasheed Walker and go for Love? Malik Willis. So Rasheed Walker. Let's talk about Rasheed Walker. Great questions. Honestly, thank you guys for the questions. And honestly, thanks for being engaged. I'm assuming you guys are here because free agency is around the corner. Rasheed Walker is a really good left tackle. Now, some might say he's an average left tackle, right? PFF right now has Rasheed Walker at, let me double check here real quick. In terms of grades, right? In terms of grades, Rasheed Walker isn't highly coveted, but he is one of the best left tackles that are going to be available in the open market, right? He's a left tackle. So what does this mean? If the Cardinals are going to be in play for a Rasheed Walker, which I don't see it happening, but if they were, then you were going to have some serious conversations about putting PJJ, Paris Johnson Jr. on the right-hand side, right? If that's going to be the direction you're going to go. But PFF, and I get it, PFF is not a god, right? They're not the end-all be-all, right? But he's listed overall grade as a 64.6 and a pass blocking grade of 70, right? Now, that's better than anything that we had at right tackle. That's for sure. That's for sure, right? But he's not really listed out or graded out very well in PFF. And like I said, he's not God. He's 6'6", or PFF is not God, right? I get that. It's as a reference. But he's 6'6", 324, and he was a late round pick, if I can remember correctly. Rasheed Walker, to his own right, he was a 7th round pick. Isn't that crazy? A 7th round pick back in 2022, and now we're talking about potentially paying him $20+ million. Good for him. Good for him. But it's just the market. That's what the market entails. But going back to your question, Kyler's costing us a lot of money. True. But what I've come to find out yesterday, because honestly, cap space, it's a little confusing. And I'm no cap savant myself. And I mentioned this on my last video, right? I'm no cap savant. But I got a little bit of better understanding on how the cap works. Let me go and show you guys so we can kind of all get on the same page with this whole Kyler Murray situation, right? Let me go and share my screen real quick. I'm going to be sharing with you guys Over the Cap, which honestly I find as a really, really fun tool. Just overthecap.com. It's really cool. But this money that you're seeing here, this $30 million, it's already taking account to where, like, we're already paying Kyler already. Like, this does not affect, like, sorry, I have to use my words. I got to choose my words correctly. This $30 million is already taking into account Kyler's money. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting, right? So if the Cardinals pre-June 1st cut Kyler, this -2 million, because this red means negative, that's -2 million towards this. So now we're talking about $28 million. Now, if the Cardinals were to do a post-June 1st, this 5.1 is cap space that adds on top of that. Now, of course, depending on how the Cardinals do things, like if they wanted to break apart the amount of money that Kyler Murray is going to be paying, whether it's going to be a lot and just kind of saying we're just going to pay you all this year and then start off fresh on the books next year, that's possible. If you want to split it up a little bit, there's a second option. Or if you want to just come out and say, hey, I want to have a lot of money, then you can say, hey, we're going to pay you a lot more next year than we do this year. It's just depending on how the Cardinals are going to attack this cap space situation with Kyler, right? Because There's a reason why everybody wanted to trade Kyler Murray, because look at this. This $34.7 million could have been on top of this cap if the Cardinals were to trade him. The problem is that they couldn't find a trade suitor or a trade partner to trade Kyler. That's the problem that we're dealing with right now. So are we going to have some cap space? We are. We're going to have some cap space. It wouldn't be as much, or I mean, it's nowhere close to where we would have if we traded Kyler Murray, but we're going to have some. We're going to have some. But, and also, too, on the other side, it depends on how the Cardinals want to attack this, how they're going to pay Kyler, right? That's an important thing. Are we just going to say, hey, we're eating it all this year? And if that's the case, we're not going to have a lot to spend, around 30, right? 31, unless the Cardinals open up some more money with some potential cap casualties that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Or they could decide to split it up. It's really depending on how the Cardinals are going to attack it. I hope that makes sense. I had my little aha moment a couple days ago as well, because I was super confused with the cap as well. And this is me covering the Cardinals for as long as I have been. So it's confusing. It's confusing. So, but going back to what you were saying about Malik Willis is attainable still, but the contract needs to be very favorable. Contract needs to be very, very favorable for the Arizona Cardinals to do something like that. I guess we'll just leave it at that. But right now, what it seems like it's trending in the direction is the Cardinals probably most likely will be running with either A, Jacoby Brissett as their QB1 in 2026, or B, Jimmy Garoppolo as their QB1 heading into 2026. Those are the most realistic options right now, who the Arizona Cardinals could potentially have as their quarterback one right now. So, with that being said, let's talk about some cap casualties, shall we? Let's talk about some cap casualties, because we've already mentioned it throughout the January and February months, right? But here we are in March, where it's actually here in our front door. So now we got to start realistically thinking about, okay, well, who are some players that the Cardinals could potentially release, right? To open up some more cap space. That's the plan, right? You want to open up some more cap space. Now, I'm going to name you guys some names. You tell me how you feel about the whole scenario, right? I'm going to list you guys some names. You tell me how you feel about it. Names that could or players that could potentially get released. Now, also, a lot of these guys aren't just going to get flat out released. I think there is going to be an attempt to restructure some of these deals, especially if there's some players that can very well want to stay with the Cardinals, right? But these are the players that you probably got to keep your eye on. Sean Murphy-Bunting, no shock, no surprise, right? He wasn't available for the Cardinals all last year. He got an injury in the offseason that the Cardinals really couldn't use him with. And he was our veteran cornerback, unfortunately. So Sean Murphy-Bunting, it could potentially be a cap casualty. James Conner, a cap casualty. I know, that sucks to say because I love James Conner. You tell me who you want to keep and who you don't in the chat while I give you guys these names, please. Bilal Nichols, I think it's time. Bilal Nichols, please leave. I'm sorry, man. I had a lot of high hopes for you. I had a lot of high hopes for you and Justin Jones. And unfortunately, none of you guys were able to do anything for us. So, Bilal, you can open up some money. Bilal's a potential cap casualty. Zaven Collins could potentially be a cap casualty. Akeem Davis-Gaither could potentially be a cap casualty. Dalvin Tomlinson. I think Dalvin is probably the one that's going to give us the most amount of cap space if the Cardinals decide to release him. And I had a lot of high hopes for Dalvin as well. I was so excited the moment the Cardinals brought in Dalvin Tomlinson. I was so excited. He just hasn't really done very much. Baron Browning, a player the Cardinals traded for. He could potentially be a cap casualty. Evan Brown could potentially be a cap casualty as well. So all these guys that we mentioned here could potentially open up some more room, right? Now, depending on where you go, who you go, or which, I guess, combination of the guys, you can open up $10, $15 million. But the most amount of money that you can get is probably Dalvin Tomlinson if you actually release him. He's getting paid a lot of money. A lot of money. We got a super chat coming our way. This time from Banker. What's up, Banker? Appreciate the two. Says, what if y'all draft Ty Simpson? Reaction, sure. I mean, I would be okay with it. I mean, you're asking a guy that really was high on Ty Simpson in college, right? You're asking a guy that was really, really high on. I would like it. I think the Arizona Cardinals need to find a solution at what they're doing at quarterback. And I would be okay with Ty Simpson. I really would. Now, whether he falls to the second round or the Cardinals do decide to trade up with maybe the Buffalo Bills, the Chiefs, or maybe the Houston Texans, it could be realistic. So, yeah, I'm okay with Ty Simpson. I'm okay with it. But yes, I ended up asking you guys about who you would keep, right? Kevin in the chat says release Dalvin, Sean Murphy Bunting, and Bilal. Joel in the chat says cut Dalvin. Blazing says D-Rob can walk. D-Rob is not kicking rocks right now. He's still under his rookie year, but this is a big year for D-Rob. This is a big year for D-Rob. He needs to show out, man. Juan in the chat says, I bet Murphy Bunting never got hurt and just I hope not. I hope not. Chris in the chat says, release Bilal Nichols. Lorenzo in the chat says, release all three. Monty as well. Shoot, can we release Monty? Shoot, I would love to release Monty. That would be the ideal dream for me. Releasing Monty. I mean, Monty Ossenfort, like Monty Ossenfort shouldn't have made this far, but he shouldn't have made the cut. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but Monty Ossenfort should not have made it past JG. He shouldn't have. And it's just the situation that we're in right now, unfortunately. The Arizona Cardinals have a very important decision to make. And it's, are they going to trade up or are they going to sit pat and wait to see who the quarterback can be, right? We got a few people coming in here. Appreciate you guys for being here. Actually, do me a massive favor. If you guys haven't already smacked the like button, smack the like button, y'all. Thank you guys for being here. We got Javi asking me, what's up, Javi? Javi in the chat says, why limit yourself to Ty Simpson when you have a better options in 2027 draft to pick up a quarterback? Also better options. Great question. That's a great question. Maybe because I'm a little higher on Ty Simpson than probably most people are. I do believe that he's a guy that can make all the throws. I do believe he's a guy that struggled with not having the weapons that he needed in college, and he was still able to be in the playoffs. And I get it. The second half, he looked really rough, right? He only has 15 starts under his belt. I get all that, right? But I see a kid that can stand in the pocket, that can take a hit, that can... I'm not going to say lead a franchise because that means I'm saying, oh, he's a franchise quarterback. I'm not saying that, but I'm willing to take a swing in a Ty Simpson. I think we have the weapons. I think we need a running back. And I think this offense can be pretty solid. I mean, of course, you also need to fix your O-line. But I just think it comes down to I'm a lot higher on him than most people are. That's probably what it comes down to. He can make all the throws. Now, also to your question as why not wait to 2027, I don't want to wait. I don't want to throw away another year. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to throw away another year. Like, that right there will absolutely, like, that would be brutal. I'm not trying to wait another year. Like, and here's the thing. What's realistic? Is Ty Simpson going to come in here and save the day? Probably not, right? So, but it would give me something to watch to say, okay, well, let's evaluate, right? Because I would rather have a season with the rookie that's going through the bumps and bruises instead of seeing kind of the same thing that we've been seeing in 2024 or 2025. I apologize. That's why. That's why. And be real. Look at all our second round picks. All our second round picks really haven't worked for us. B.J. Ojolari, Max Melton, Will Johnson. That one will probably work out for us, but it's still too early to tell, right? That one will probably work out for us. But like a lot of our other second round picks haven't really worked. So like, I don't know, use a second round pick on a guy that can maybe come in here and lead your franchise. You never know. You never know. That's why. That's why. Latham in the chat says, hammer offensive line in free agency and grab Jeremiah Love. Okay, well, I'm actually glad you actually mentioned that. Honestly, I'm actually very glad that you actually mentioned that about the whole Jeremiah Love thing. Because 2 days ago, I was very, no, you don't want to get Jeremiah Love. He's going to be there at 6. Trade back if that's what you want. Well, you guys told me that Jeremiah Love would probably get taken with the 4th overall pick. And I told you, no, Robert Saleh won't do that. Robert Saleh will go the direction of a defensive guy. That's what I said. I'm probably wrong, and I'm gonna admit my fault here. I'm gonna admit my fault here because the truth of the nature here is that Jeremiah Love, I think today, is meeting with the Tennessee Titans in the facilities. So he's meeting in the facilities right now. Ty Simpson. I'm sorry, not Ty Simpson. Jeremiah Love is. So for the people out there that were talking about Jeremiah Love, honestly, right now, sitting on March the 5th, it's a no-go. But let me see what Monty does in free agency. If he's able to address all the big scarcity of all the needs that we need, then we can start to kind of evaluate moving forward, right? But right now, at the state of the Cardinals, it's hard for me to say, yes, use your third overall pick on Jeremiah Love. Right now, I have him on my top 5 guys that I want the Cardinals to get, but he's the asterisk, right? He's the guy that is, you potentially got to trade down. But now that we're seeing that Tennessee Titans actually might be in play for him at 4, then it's maybe a little bit more, you got to start thinking about this a little bit more, right? So I'm not going to say I was wrong. I probably was. No, I was wrong. I apologize. I did say that Tennessee was not going to get him. I did say that. And I was wrong there. So let's see. Let's see how it all shakes out. I'll take that one on the chin. We got S333. What's up, brothers? Appreciate you, man. I think we got another super chat coming our way. Bastion says Sam Howell or Kirk Cousins underrated options. Sam Howell, I'm not really interested in. I would be shocked if the Kirk Cousins actually came to the Arizona Cardinals. There's not been any links to the Arizona Cardinals right now with Kirk Cousins. Am I on board with a potential Kirk Cousins? I mean, it would be cool. I mean, I like do you like that, right? I like the supercuts, haircuts. I mean, I like that. He seems like a pretty overall stand-up guy. It's just there's not really been any links with Kirk Cousins to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I could be shocked. I could be surprised that it actually happens. And of course, whoever the guy is, we're going to get on board, right? Like, that's just the way it is. We'll have our comments. We'll be able to assess, but we're probably going to come on board with the whole situation if that does transpire to the way that it is. But yes. ESSEJ Val is in the chat. Says Tyler Algier. I don't know if you watched my video. Man. But Tyler Algier is very, very intriguing. Very intriguing. Now, of course, K9 would be very cool to see, right? K9 would be awesome to see here, which is Kenneth Walker. It's just, I don't think it's attainable. I don't think it's realistic for the Cardinals to do that. But if they go after a Tyler Algier, that is a guy that's probably a number 1 that's sitting behind Bijan Robinson. That's a guy in Tyler Algier that's known as a bowling ball, right? A guy that's a in the red zone, I'm going to get this freaking touchdown. That's Tyler Algier. And he's been sitting behind Bijan Robinson in Atlanta. That right there, I would love the Arizona Cardinals to go after. Now, of course, we're kind of, that's not quarterbacks, that's running back. But I wanted to kind of make it clear, and I wanted to make sure I give you kudos there. Val, is that if you watched my video, cool. If you just came out with that yourself, then we're on the same wavelength, my guy. We're on the same wavelength. But yeah, Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. We do have Juan in the chat says, Mike, don't fall for the Kyler Murray divorce. We don't need another partner. Real Tone Ranger in the chat says, this list is verbatim the same as well, keep in mind, this list is coming off because it's based off of reports, right? So if it's the same list that you've kind of heard somewhere else, also keep in mind that I'm also bringing to you what's been reported. Like, what's being reported is probably what's being talked about on other podcasts or other platforms out there, right? Those are what other people are saying out there. That's not what they're saying. That's what other people that are on the inside are saying out there, right? The Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, please keep in mind as well, I have a video that I released over a month and a half ago. No, I apologize. That's wrong. I made a video over a month ago, right? And I called it free agents that are linked or could be linked to the Arizona Cardinals, right? And I had Jimmy Garoppolo on there over a month ago. Now, of course, the news started coming out about Jimmy Garoppolo in the combine. Oh, well, he could be the guy of Mike LaFleur. But I made a video about links over a month ago, right? I'm not sure if you saw the video, if you didn't see the video, but yeah, it's on my channel. It's on my channel. And I even said myself the same thing that I said back then. Would I be into a Jimmy Garoppolo? Probably not. But you got to be realistic with the nature, right? That these are guys that are linked with LaFleur. And this was 3 weeks ago. I apologize. Not a month ago. It was 3 weeks ago before the combine, right? Before the combine. So for what it's worth, I mentioned his name prior. I mentioned his name prior. But honestly, I do want to keep JB. I personally would like to keep JB. Let's keep the chat going. Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is going anywhere. There's been multiple reports out there that Mac Jones isn't going anywhere. Mr. Soup. Breece Hall being a franchise tag out for the Jets, let everyone else go is frustrating. Yeah, I 100% agree on that, man. I 100% agree on that. Yeah, it's very frustrating because I would have loved the Arizona Cardinals to potentially gone after a said Breece Hall. And it seemed like he was going to get traded in the trade deadline. The Jets decided to keep him. Now, are they going to try to trade him off after being franchise tagged? I mean, hearing what Darren Muji ended up saying, it seems like they're pretty in. It seems like they're pretty in on the idea of a they're pretty in on the idea of Breece Hall being there in 2026, and rightfully so. He's a really good running back, so he's getting paid like $14 million. So it's a lot. It's a lot. What wheat bear the chat says? I'm not watching a season if we get Jimmy G. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Brian in the chat says, can we still get Dowdle, ETN, or a 5th round BPA running back? Yeah, I mean, I think all the options are on the table for the Cardinals. Look from top to bottom on this roster. They need help. They need help from top to bottom on this roster. The Cardinals can do that. Absolutely. And like I mentioned before, if they want to take advantage of this year, and I don't know. I don't think anybody truly knows what the Cardinals are going to do this year. I don't think anybody knows what the Cardinals are going to do this year, right? Are they going to go, quote unquote, in on trying to compete in the division or just compete in the NFL in general? Or are they taking another mulligan year and just saying to themselves, well, we're going to eat all this Kyler Murray cap and we're just going to go from there? But guess what? If the Cardinals are sitting again with the 3rd overall pick next year, I don't think Monty Ossenfort's making that pick. I don't think Monty Ossenfort's making that pick if we're sitting with that 3rd, a top 5 pick next year. With all the quarterbacks that are coming in, he better not make the pick. He better not make the pick. But yes, Tyler Algier, I see you, Jesse. Appreciate you for tagging me here on X. Thank you so very much. But yes, I would love the idea of Tyler Algier being an Arizona Cardinal. 100%. 100%. Would look good too. And that 25 solidified that probably Zayman is probably going to be gone. Josh Rosen is available. Yikes. Tyler Algier, we need. Yeah, I would definitely love Tyler Algier for sure. RV Davey on the chat said signed a cheap QB. Well, I mean, you have Jacoby already. You have Jacoby already. I mean, what other quarterbacks are available right now, right? What other quarterbacks available? Aaron Rodgers still hasn't made his decision, right? Russell Wilson. Sorry, let me see which quarterbacks are available right now. Okay, so Tua, probably not going to happen, right? Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones was transition tagged, but there can be some people that can very well, I guess, match what they're going to offer him or something like that. Tyler Huntley is interesting. Joe Flacco, not really there. Tyrod Taylor, Jimmy G, which we've already talked about. Marcus Mariota, that's interesting as well. Malik Willis, we've talked about multiple times on this channel already. It's not a lot. Russell Wilson is a name also that might hit the market. It's not a lot. Not a lot. Clayton Tune, let's go. Tune time, baby. Love it, love it, love it. Remember Mike Green fell, so maybe someone like him falls, hopefully. What did Mike Green accomplish this year? I was really big on Mike Green. I know. What did he accomplish? I was really big on Mike Green, and Baltimore ended up getting Mike Green in the 59th overall pick in the 2nd round. 3.5 sacks, 17 solo tackles, 3.5 sacks. 20, still young, 22 years old. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All options are on the table, ladies. All options are on the table, ladies and gentlemen. That's one thing I'll definitely say for sure. All options on the table. Thoughts on Cameron Jordan? I like Cameron Jordan. Is he available? I like veteran. Wow. I like Cameron Jordan, but for what he is, right? A veteran stopgap guy. I would rather the Cardinals go the direction of bringing back Calais. Uh, Wait, we're talking about the Saints, right? We're talking about the Saints defensive end, right? Cameron Jordan, right? Just want to make sure that we're on the same page. He is currently, yeah, he's I think he might be a free agent. He's like 38, 37 years old. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't mind him. I don't mind him. I mean, I would rather allocate the money and bring him back Calais. It's just the connections are still there, man. I love Calais, brother. I love Calais Campbell. I love Calais. I'd rather allocate that money and say, hey, give us one more year. But Cameron Jordan is, yeah, he's up there. But so is Calais. I'm willing to kind of give him one more year. I love Calais, man. RV in the chat says Manny Arch. Joel in the chat says Malik Love, Braden Smith, and Emmanuel Pregnon. Sign me up. Well, let's say this. I'm not shutting down Love right anymore. I'm not shutting down Love. I thought I was right, and I'm gonna admit something that I don't really do very often. I was wrong. I thought Jeremiah Love could potentially be there in 6, but I'm seeing a lot of steam now. What you guys were telling me earlier that I didn't see, he might go for. He might go for. So let's go. Brian in the chat says trade or cut Jacoby. I won't cut Jacoby myself, but trading, I can get on board. Sign Driscoll and Tank. Oh God. Next year, Levitt, Sayan, Shambliss, or Matier, Fire Monty. No. I see your vision. I see the vision, man. But damn, I'm not trying to tank this year, man. I'm really not. I don't want Michael Fleur's first year to be tainted with tanking. I don't want that. And I don't think the organization of the Cardinals want that. I don't think Monty wants that, right? But I get it. If you want Monty fired, that's kind of unfortunately the steps that you have to take to get there, right? That's kind of what we've been known and used to. Another player that I mentioned as well, I'm telling you guys, once we're done with this live stream, which we're going to be done pretty soon, go to the YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel and check out the free agent targets that I posted. I posted free agent targets yesterday's video, and for some reason, I don't think YouTube is sending my videos out. I think the algorithm's a little wonky, but there's a video out there saying free agency targets, and I just kind of gave you guys a breakdown of players that I would love the Cardinals to potentially target. Make sure you check it out once we are done with this live stream. It's already live on the channel on the videos tab. Make sure you check that out. But no, I'm not coming in here with the thought to tank myself. Russell in the chat says LaFleur is getting a flyer this year, and due to a QB situation, I bet on it. Yes, I agree. I don't think that LaFleur is going to get canned in year 1, but nobody wants to see another 3-win season, man. Nobody wants to see another 3-win season. Like, nobody wants to see that. And I don't think the Cardinals want that as well. Brian in the chat says Ty sucks. Dang, man. There's not a lot of love for Ty Simpson here in the chat. There's not a lot of love for Ty Simpson in the chat. I guess I might be a little higher on Ty Simpson than the next guy, right? Well, let me ask you this. Let's do this. Let's end this stream by answering this question. Super simple, super quick, to the point. Let's answer this by answering this question here in the chat. And actually, while you're typing up, so make sure you smack the like button here as well. Do you like Ty Simpson? Yes or no? Simple as that. Yes or no in the chat. I don't want to read anything else, but yes or no. Do you like Ty Simpson? Now, how we get there, that's irrelevant. Do you like Ty Simpson? Yes or no in the chat right now. I'm just curious. I'm curious to figure out what your guys' overall thoughts on him. Because honestly, I like him. I like him. So Brian with the first the first one to the podium, no. Alpha King, no. Juan, no. John, he's fine. Mafia, yes. Okay. We got a couple yeses. Okay. Adrian, yes. Okay. Okay. There you go. We're getting some yeses. All right. Some no's. I think it's dominant no, but I don't have an opinion. I don't know him at all. Okay, fair. Ty would be serviceable. I like him better than all the free agents out there. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to get a gauge. I just wanted to get a gauge on where you guys were at. That's it. That's all it was. Okay. Perfect. Bryce is decent backup. Okay. Well, is it realistic to say that Ty Simpson might be a Cardinal? If Ty Simpson becomes a Cardinal, we're all on board, right? If Ty Simpson becomes a Cardinal, we're all on board. I can only imagine it here moving forward. But let's do this, everybody. I appreciate you, A, for being here. 2, next week is going to be so damn fun. We're going to get a better understanding of what this organization and what this roster is going to look like here in 2026. Are they tanking or are they not tanking, right? I don't think they're going to myself, but let's see how this all shakes out. But do me a massive favor, everybody. Smack the like button here on your way out. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 19K. And right now, we have less than 200 subscribers away from getting there. So make sure you subscribe it up. Smack the like button. We're going to be closing up shop right here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Oh yeah, one other thing I forgot to mention. I think we mentioned this a little yesterday. We got 4 preseason games. If you don't know, now you know. We got 4 preseason games. The Arizona Cardinals are playing the Hall of Fame game, and you see Larry Fitzgerald inducted. So it's going to be super cool. So we got 4 preseason games. So if we get a rookie quarterback, guess what? We see that rookie quarterback a lot more in preseason. I am down. All right, y'all. Appreciate you. We'll be closing up shop right here. Thank you, everybody. You're all amazing. Let's close up shop. All right. Shout out here to Lord, to Real, to Wes, to Brian, to RV, AZ Rat, Juan, John. Thanks, y'all. All right, guys. Later. Peace.